Hello my friends and welcome to Vosto Vlad's YouTube channel. I am of course Vosto Vlad and I started this live stream unexpectedly right now to talk with whoever wants to talk with me. I have made a very popular Synthwave documentary out there. It's very popular and it brought me a lot of new followers. I also make conspiracy videos and I also make music. So if anyone wants to address me some questions today on all of these topics, I am here for you and we can talk together. I have this nice cup of Romanian quality beverage called Palinka. It's really good. In the background we have of course Synthwave music, which I still listen to, and it's from Night Ride FM. Hello SW, welcome to my live stream. Usually when I do these live streams I lose a ton of subscribers, so that's something I'm looking forward to this time. I cover many topics, sometimes different topics that collide with each other, and you know, sometimes people get offended if you don't cover their topic, or if you cover a topic that they feel uncomfortable with. It's like, no man, I didn't subscribe for this type of material. I thought you were only doing Synthwave documentaries, man. How come you talk about conspiracies, or the other way around? I thought you only talk about conspiracies. Why why do you cover other subjects? You know what I'm saying? Yes, Mohammed Al-Miladi, hopefully I said your name right. Welcome to the stream, as well as Sherlock Holmes and the Nonconformist, who is an old name that I recognize. I think you're from the same country as me, which is Romania. I am in Romania, and I have I go as far as to have a Romanian shirt with the revolution. With the revolution flag, which has a cut here, you know, in the middle of it, because this used to be the communist emblem. And I have a cat behind me. Yeah. Cat is meowing. He wants attention. Sorry about that. Yeah, long live Romania. It seems that we are in tough times again. It seems that you know, some 1989 times are coming back again. Wait a second, guys. Oh, I'm about to do some failure live. Alright, I'm back. I think I'm back. I'm not sure. I need to be able to see the chat. I pressed some stuff earlier and that's not so good. Are we live? I think we are live. I was playing with my cat over there. Yeah, epic beard. Yeah, I'm working on it. You know, I'm striving to become a real life Gandalf, and my cat has entangled in the wire. In the wire of my headphones, guys. This is my cat. His name is Tut Tut Schmucky. Sometimes he's also called Smokey, and also Kofefe and Aristotle. But we're going through the names. Tut Tut was when he was really young. Now he's still a young cat. And then Schmucky is for this time, where he's kind of playing a lot. and then he will become an adult cat at a point where I will just call him Aristotle, because he's gonna be a wise cat that will just chill with me. Yeah. Grandmaster Gav86 says, "Hi Vosto, I hope you're keeping well. Talking of conspiracies, what are your thoughts on David Icke? I can't understand why he has such a following." Well, you know, David Icke comes from an era in this whole conspiracy community where it was all about books, right? You didn't have live streams, you didn't have YouTube videos. You had these books by writers of conspiracy things. So he came about in the 80s and you know, in the 90s, touching on these topics which were a bit edgy to do back then. And you know, he was one of the pioneers, I guess, so people following him, but they don't realize that he's like, okay, he says some amazing stuff sometimes, but sometimes he is completely out of the picture, you know. This cat is eating through my skin as we speak. Let me know if the music is too loud or too low, because I do want to hear you. I want you to hear this background music, but I don't want you to get annoyed by it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the problem, reaction, solution thing is a true thing, and we can notice this actually right now in the times that we are living in. You know, I hope that I am fitting the bill when it comes to the stereotypical conspiracy theorist look. I have the long hair, I have the beard. Yeah. David Icke is fake news. Cyberthing is in the chat room. What? There's no... What? What are you talking about? I can clearly see the music in the background on my software. I lack the sunglasses at night to be a conspiracy theorist. Okay, let me bump it up a bit. Oh well, I got some kick-ass synthwave music in the background. Sometimes you have Cyberthing in the background. Cyberthing music, I recommend you check that guy out. There's some amazing dark synth. We are working on collaborations together, actually, on a Soviet wave track. When you hear Soviet wave, don't imagine that we're communists. I don't know about Cyberthing, but I am not a communist. I have this t-shirt on with the Romanian flag with a cut in the center, and this was the flag of the Romanian Revolution when we wanted to be independent and free, but instead we got crony capitalism. I want to say hello to everyone and appreciate for choosing to spend your time on this channel, on this live stream. Big shout out to Cyberthing, the Nonconformist, Game Conspiracy, Butt Tracker, Green Mountain Girl, and Mr. Grey. So I got some people that Peter Ramon, I don't know if I said your name, and IQ Warts. I got some very good friends in the chat room right now. I would mention Cyberthing for being an amazing comrade. He's out there in Russia making synthwave dark synth music. We have a collaboration upcoming and we are very good friends. Game Conspiracy, you should check out his channel. He's an amazing guy talking about video games and his opinions about them and the agendas and why Assassin's Creed sucks. And that's the topic he was focusing on back in the days when... Yeah, I think I'm also disappointed on where Assassin's Creed is going. for a while now, since Origins actually. I mean, it was pretty fun, but I just don't like the grind. It's too grindy. I mean, back in the days, it was also grindy, but at least you had a unified story going on, you know, that whole Ezio Auditore journey and all the secrets being uncovered. Everything felt well paced, you know, the amount of storytelling with the amount of grinding, as opposed to now where there's so much grinding and side quests that you forget the main story. I don't even want to touch the new Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I don't think it's for me, even though I like Vikings. I like Viking culture, and I follow a nice Viking channel now in 2020, and there's a Viking channel out there. His name is Bjorn Andreas Bull Hansen. I will repeat that, Bjorn Andreas Bull Hansen. He's a guy who is into hiking. I am also from a mountainous region in Romania, and I like to hike myself, so I can relate with that, but I can also relate with his opinions about the political stuff and what's going on with our rights during this coronavirus crisis. Mentioning my friends, Mr. Gray is an old friend of mine, and we used to hang out a lot in the Rec Network radio chat room. Really nice guy, always following me and reminding me that I have a dead channel, which is very true in a sense that I upload very rarely. That's because I don't always feel the need to upload, you know, I'm not like a professional YouTuber. I upload something when I feel that I want to express an opinion, whether that is showing you some interesting things that I find culturally, or you know, talking about some hidden hand stuff, deep state stuff that I don't like within. I feel like no one is talking about those subjects. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we all got crony capitalism, but that's the solution. It doesn't mean that we, like, here's the thing, you know, okay, crony capitalism bad, but we shouldn't look towards the super socialist system as well. Like, you know, that's not a solution. That's what I always say. I think I was having a discussion earlier on another live stream of my friend Zachary Winchester, also known as the Nonsense Man. You know, have to see have to look at the domain separately and see, maybe here is better a socialist solution and here is better a capitalist solution. Crony capitalism is bad. Real capitalism is good, but the communists say the same thing, that we haven't had any true communism, and that their version of communism is amazing, which on paper sounds okay, it's utopian, but I don't think you can apply it. However, there are some advantages and less vulnerabilities for a capitalist system. That means you have multiple heads controlling the whole thing, so at least you can manifest yourself through those different barriers and different bubbles. As in communism, you have a single bubble, and if that all goes wrong, the centralized system goes wrong, then you completely lose everything you have, which is not that great. I'd like to say hello to Zaid Comics, which is an amazing comic book creator. He writes amazing comics, and he gets the best artists, visual artists, to put his dreams into practice. And that's what I would like to say, you know, even if the world is doom and gloom, I think it's really good to just follow your passion and, you know, try to make a change, a little ripple, which will create a butterfly effect in a positive way. Zaid Comics comes from a comic book movement, which is about freedom in comic books. It's called Comics Gate, and you know, it's about removing the politics stuff from comic books. It's about removing political correctness and you know, all that SJW feminist influence. It's having a lot of influence in the mainstream culture. The popular video games, the popular movies are all influenced about this, and what ends up happening is, instead of helping those people to be included, let's say, it kind of makes creators suffer and not be able to focus on their art if they have to be careful every time when they write something if it offends someone. So I applaud the Comicsgate crew. I think they're doing an amazing job, and that's why I like to make soundtracks for them. I like to help them out whenever they need a soundtrack, a theme for the comic books. You're probably wondering why comic books need themes, right? But you know, they need. They are expanding. It's all in this art universe. You need visuals, you need writing, you need sound to completely immerse the person who's watching, the person who reads into the thing that you are creating. You know what I'm saying? And yes, check out Zade Comics' new project, The Lost Pages, on Indiegogo, where I have done some soundtracks. Of course, there's Death Sworn by Carl O. Rowe. There's also my girlfriend's project, which is called Reality Hackers, and episode 2 is about to happen. So, you know, get on that, get on supporting the people who need supporting. I should have had some links prepared, but I'm not doing my homework. I have just started this live. I was kind of feeling good here, you know. I've got this kind of holiday atmosphere going on here. Even though we're in the apocalypse, I think you can still make a positive atmosphere with the simplest of things. But I will post the link towards my girlfriend's project. And yeah, be sure to check out Zade Comics. And Zade Comics has a channel you can subscribe to if you want to see what's happening with these comic books. You know, these comic books. I'm not saying their comic books are about exposing the systems and whatnot. They just want to make good stories without being bothered all the time by these people who are so sensitive and they don't want to be offended all the time. Limo Drive Mike. Are you really a limo driver? Because that's a really nice job. Howdy from a German in Montana, he says. Do you still speak German, or are you just German lineage? Because I'm also a German by lineage. I'm Austrian, I guess. Quarter Austrian, quarter Hungarian, and quarter Romanian. And here in Romania we have kind of a scandal going on between Hungarians and Romanians, but I don't want to promote scandals because I'm both blooded, so I try to understand the perspective of both countries. Obviously, Hungary has been the owner of Transylvania for a long, for hundreds of years, let's say, through conquest, through honest conquest. But you know, Romanians still were the native people of those lands and ultimately got back their lands. So there's a conflict going on there. But I hope we can get along and progress together. The Austro-Hungarians brought us a lot of things when it comes to culture, when it comes to architecture, made some amazing towns, some amazing achievements that we probably wouldn't have been able to do ourselves. Yeah, Reality Hackers, so cool. Yeah, I also made a soundtrack for that particular creation. Zach Mann says, hey Vosto, you should check out Matthew North's research, although be warned, he's a white nationalist, but his research is legitimate, and I have a playlist of his videos. It depends what kind of... I mean, I'm not of the opinion that if you are a skin color, you are superior to the other skin color. That, of course, is not rational to me. But I do think that you should be proud of your culture and who you are and what you are. In my case, I identify... I don't identify as a non-binary furry. I identify as a mountain-dwelling Romanian. And I speak Romanian, and cultural unity, I like that thing. Let's just say that. And everything that stops me from having my culture is not great, especially when everyone calls you racist left and right. If you are not you're not a racist, but they still call you a racist. You know, there's a case of definitions here. And I think definitions are exaggerated nowadays, so we have to be careful about that aspect. Who built the most impressive castle in Transylvania? We do have some castles in Romania. I don't know about their builders though, but I think my personal favorite is the one that's close to me. And it's called Peleș Castle, and it's a really beautiful place. That's where my grandmother worked as an accountant, of all things. Accounting is kind of a boring job, but a necessary job, so shout out to all accountants out there doing the grinding work for our world to be able to work. It's a beautiful castle though, and it was built by the dead Hohenzollern families. See, I said that I don't know, but I actually know. And they gave us a line of kings, let's say in recent Romanian history. And I think they did a good job. You know, we had achievements during the monarchy. Before communism, we had some achievements. You know, communists usually like to say they brought the industry and high-tech stuff here. But during the monarchy, we had the town with the first electrified lamps on the streets town in Europe. And I'm not joking, that's reality. And we had like the longest bridge in Europe at that time when it comes to trains. We had the Chernavoda bridge, which was a really beautiful thing for that time. If you look at it with today's eyes, you just see a bunch of metal basic structure. But it was a nice achievement. And right now we have some master boot record in the background, if you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it. Thank you very much for watching my stream. It's a spontaneous live stream. I just wanted to check out, see if I still have you know, people interested in what I do and interested enough to check out a live stream about nothing. Yeah, but at least we have some music in the background. I hope that you can hear something, and I am talking to you, and I hope my microphone is all right. Charlatan Trick asked me if I'm part Romani. Romani is not the same as Romanian. Romani is the old word for gypsies, which come from India and are nomadic people who like to initiating crafts. They like to do crafts. They like to create things. But in the modern world, their creations are not met with welcoming hands. So a lot of poverty inside their community, which has led to a lot of mafia type organizations, which gather a bunch of those poor, unfortunate souls and initiate them in their criminal organizations, and sometimes it's not criminal, sometimes they just initiate in begging throughout the whole of Europe, and they have Romanian identity cards, so one might think that they are Romanian, which is true, they are Romanian because they've been here hundreds of years, but the ethnicity is Gypsy, and they are unfortunate. Like I said, they weren't able to adapt to the modern world. They don't need their crafting. Like they had chimney sweepers and stuff like that. They create spoons and all kinds of cooking. Like I don't. My English is limited. You have to understand that. I'm sorry for that. So yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with that. I like that they are independent and like freedom and don't let go of their ways. I think we should have more of that. The ones who think that we are modern and so smart because we have smartphones. I think we should be more careful and, you know, say no when we should say no and not be afraid to say no, even if that means we will be poor. We have the scariest movie ever watching my live stream. I'm still glad that he is subscribed to this channel. Hello, and sometimes I watch your live streams where you talk with your fan base, and it's really cool to see that interaction and that you were able to make it possible for all their voices to be heard. That show is really late to me and I can't participate in it. But when I can, I enjoy listening to it. The Scariest Movie Ever is one of the pioneers in what concerns people making conspiracy-related videos on YouTube, and he is a down-to-earth voice. When you listen to him, he is not like a tinfoil hat crazy guy, you know. He is a down-to-earth, and you know, you can see that conspiracy theorists are actually normal people. Like, there's not like you are convinced. People try to make you think that they're all crazy extremists of some sort, but no, they are down-to-earth people. And the scariest movie ever. You can check out his channel. I'm really glad that his channel wasn't shut down. A lot of channels were shut down because of what they had to say. The Scariest Movie Ever is very diplomatic about what he says on his videos, and he juggles between the limits put in place by the establishment. He's able to do his thing, which is really cool. Are you disappointed about Cyberpunk 2077 not having enough synthwave? Stony41, which is a really good friend from Direct Network radio station. I am disappointed, yes, but I was expecting that disappointment, which is a bit of difference. I was expecting them not to add any synthwave in the music, even though it would be completely natural for a game that inspires from retro-futuristic themes. You have that all Blade Runner influence when it comes to the aesthetics, when it comes to the buildings and the neons and the streets and all the Eastern foods that you can see the street food. Why wouldn't there be also some Blade Runner Vangelis by his real name? Let me see if I can say it. Evangelos Odysseas Papatanasiou, great creator from Greece, which made some fantastic synthesizer music in the 80s. And he composed the soundtrack for the iconic Blade Runner movie. Of course, I would have loved to see some of that in Cyberpunk 2077. And it's a shame that they only used their creative abilities to make some cyber trap. At least it's not mumble trap, it's kind of hip-hoppy, which is fine. They have instrumental music, but it's not synthwave or retro-inspired at all. It's more just regular cyberpunk. When it comes to the production quality, I wouldn't say it's that great. It's like medium level production quality music. They could have hired better sound designers, like Lorne, like Noisia, like Amon Tobin. Sure, they would have come with some amazing sound design, but they chose the average path, and the average path is not the best path. Like, they were able to hire Keanu Reeves, but they weren't able to hire some decent music producers. However, the normal person who just wants to have some fun on the game will enjoy the soundtrack. However, they literally stole the sound. They literally stole the sound from a Lorne track, which is Oxbow B from the Maze to Nowhere album. An album which I personally love, and that's why I was able to recognize this theft, and I exemplified it in my Cyberpunk 2077 review. Yeah, I guess no budget for music. They just... I don't know how at this level you can allow... I don't know how to say it in English, but it's just sound theft, I guess. Plagiarism is the term I was looking for. Yeah, and on top of that, of course, you have the whole transhumanism agenda, promotion. I did, however, find two characters that were against the transhumanism, and that's an augmentations vendor of all things, which I thought that was really good. The guy who sells augmentations to be against transhumanism, but he's forced, like, that's his job, you know, it's his livelihood, and a lot of people are in this situation. Right? You are forced to be in your job because you don't have another solution. That's the only thing you know what to do. And even though the companies steer you in wrong directions or whatever, you can't escape from that influence. Exactly, they spent all the money on Keanu Reeves. And that's where the story is also linear. And the second character that's against transhumanism is the preacher guy on the sidewalk, but they picture him as a crazy guy. But he's saying some real stuff out there that I agree with, but that's how the reverse psychology effect works, you know? Show you a crazy guy that says some truthful stuff and make you think he's crazy, so you think that everyone who says that stuff is crazy, like that guy that you've seen in the video game. And yeah, my message when it comes to these type of things, this type of games that prepare you for a future that is paved for us to step on, is to try and stay human, you know, when it comes to augmentation stuff like that. It's probably cool to be able to jump, you know, 5 meters in the air with some nice leg augmentations. But I don't know about that, you know. At the same time, those leg augmentations can let you down. It's how someone is hacking you, or if someone is trying to shut you down. Imagine the more you augment of your body, the more your body will become less independent, because it will be connected to the Internet of Things. Your body, if you connect it to the Internet of Things, that's not such a good idea, because you become vulnerable. So now we have biological vulnerabilities. We can get a virus, we can get sick, but the technological vulnerabilities in the case of augmentations will be really bad, because it will be something similar to what you see in a game like Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, another prophetic title over there, where you see one of the important characters being just shut down by something, probably the establishment, and his body just starts to break down, and he starts bleeding through his eyes and mouth, unable to control his doom. So imagine, if you say something wrong, if you do something against the establishment, whatever that establishment may be in the future, whether capitalism megacorp style or socialist over government controlled centralized system style, which is the style that I don't prefer. So I would say to remain human for now. Of course, there's the other subject of body compatibility. You know, there's cases where the body just refuses augmentations, and you might not have such a great time with them. However, if you do get injured, if you lose your limb by stepping on a mine accidentally, yeah, there's no choice. You need a robotic leg, I guess. Here's an interesting question. Do you know what happened to the channel What is Real? Juan Luis Mora Malpica asks. Yes, I do know what happened to the channel, and I don't know if I have the blessing from the owner to say what happened, but at this point a bunch of years passed by, so I guess it's fine to say what happened. What happened is basically the owner of the channel What is Real got a bunch of threats, very convincing threats from the establishment, and you know, that convinced him to just shut down the channel. He didn't want to risk more with the channel, so he just decided to stop it. And you know, I found myself, as well as other alternative creators on YouTube, under the same situation. Is it worth to make videos on a platform which doesn't welcome your content, doesn't recommend your videos, and unsubscribes people from you? And you know, it's just not worth it. I also have a video myself that I express very well how YouTube now is kind of dead if you want to promote anything controversial, anything about the truth. You know, opinions are not wanted anymore. They just want advertisements now, and family-friendly content, and you know, content that's not offensive in any way. It's the same story, guys. I'm tired to say it, but yeah. And sometimes I do feel the need to post some videos. So you might see some videos, like 2-3 videos per year or something like that. I'm astonished that I have interaction going on right now on the live stream, because I'm not really active with my YouTube channel, and I have some people watching right now and some people deciding to interact and ask questions in the chat room, and that's fantastic. So thank you guys for you know, sticking around with me. And I probably miss a lot of the stuff that you guys say, because it takes me a lot of time to explain something, and I get on all this rabbit hole type stuff. It's I'm not very efficient with my words. Let's see if I missed anything important. Alright, there's definitely some agenda in it, even they try to grey it out. Victor was an army doc. Cyberpunk 2077 is at least less bland or serious than the new Deus Ex. I guess so. The first Deus Ex was really deep, and then as time went by, got more and more streamlined. I guess that's the case with all things. Like, you know, the 90s and early 2000s were the places where game creators could still go wild with their ideas. And you know, the more time went by, the more not creative things began to be, by the restraints of mainstream culture, I guess. I don't know. The bigger the games get, the less substance they have. Okay, look at Bethesda software games Look at Assassin's Creed games, look at, I don't know, Deus Ex. Everything, just everything. You know, compare the old Fallouts with the new Fallouts. Compare even Fallout 3 with Fallout 76. Like there's a big mountain gap right there between the two games. And eventually, you know, things will become so sterile that nothing will inspire the new generations. You know, there's nothing to be inspired by, and everyone gets so confused, and that's why you have furries and non-binaries. Anyways, is Alex Jones Bill Hicks? I don't know about that. The videos do show some very similar things between them, but I don't know. It remains to your personal view and your personal thoughts. I don't really. That's not really my topic. But I do wonder myself sometimes. You know, could be, and it could be not. That's a lot of. That's how you can describe me in a nutshell. Artyom Props, it's good to see you in that chat room, man. Artyom Props, originally a Russian, now living in America, and I think so. And he's making some fantastic masks, some helmets. Very nice stuff. You can order custom-made handcrafted things from Artyom Props. That's the guy for props you want to contact. You want a Cyberpunk mask? He's the guy. I've been dreaming a lot about zombies lately. Dom dreams. Well, you have dreams in your nickname, so you're gonna dream about things. Zombies, it depends what kind of zombies. We have zombies roaming around right now, wishing for more coronavirus restrictions. Anyways, Juan Luis, thank you, Vosto, love the channel. Thank you for watching and choosing to spend your time here. I never got the chance to play the first Deus Ex, Tony says. Well, now is your chance. It's really interesting game, that one, with a lot of predictions. About the future. Whether they were dictated by someone to be placed in the game, or they were just made by chance, or they were just influenced through spiritual means, that remains to your interpretation. Jordan Peterson will inspire us, Game Conspiracy says. I do like Jordan Peterson. I like a bit of Jordan Peterson in my life. He's the academic guy that can represent a lot of pertinent opinions. For example, I am someone who talks a lot influenced by my feelings, but he's the guy who can come with the facts and say how things are from an academic perspective. He went through a lot of problems with health problems, but can't bring the guy down, so he's gonna come back strong and inspire people, inspire the new generations. They're willing to listen. If they're not mesmerized by mumble rap, who care for important topics. Charlatan trick. No, Bill Hicks would have never picked a side. He'd hate them all. Alex Jones is 110% behind Trump. Yeah, that's true. But look, Alex Jones was against the demo, was against the Republicans as well, back in George Bush's times. The only reason he got behind Trump in this recent times is because he thought the guy was different, you know, he didn't come from a political background, and he appeared to support some of the topics that that we care about, I guess. But in the long run, he was inconsistent and he didn't deliver much of everything other than having the courage to say China virus on in a conference and the press conferences, and you know, things like things of that nature. I'm not the best analyst when it comes to this, but I did like that it was a bit you know, Trump pissed off the SJW, so that was the only good part. But other than that, he was kind of inconsistent. I don't believe in that he's the savior of the world like the QAnon people believe. But feel free to contradict that in the chat section, you know. Artyom props, I'm here, man, just working on some props as always. Got you here playing. Thank you very much for listening to this spontaneous stream. And I'm glad you're working on your passions, man. In fact, this is the message that I have for everyone, you know. If you like doing something, just do it, but not in the Shia LaBeouf way. Because he's a cringe festival in his territory out there. Possibly I have some cringy things about myself, but no, I'm willing to recognize them. I'm just living out here the Slavic Latin lifestyle. I have some double distilled Palinka in my Romanian ceramic made pot. I like handmade things. That's the thing we should support. Don't support the megacorps, support small businesses, because they really need your help right now to survive amongst this coronavirus chaos. Jordan Peterson wouldn't even play Cyberpunk. The guy plays video games? I'm not sure about that. Does he play any game? That would be funny to see. A Jordan Peterson gaming channel. That's what I look forward to. Jordan Peterson is a grifter. He's gonna cash checks. Look, man, if your product, like I'm for the free market idea. So if you come with a value, if you have something of value to give to people, and people are willing to give you a reward with their hard-earned monetary means, that's fine to me. You know what I'm saying? So if I resonate with Jordan Peterson, what he says, you know, if I want to buy one of his books, that's no problem for me. Do you think elites take over games companies like everything else to keep control, or maybe just green light fund those they want out? Call of Duty and the American military. What is your idea? See, the big fish eats the small fish. For example, Bethesda Softworks is owned by Microsoft now, I think. I'm not sure, but I think that's the case. So their content is going to suffer in the direction. Like, the games will become more superficial, less ballsy, you know. The more you become of a bigger thing, the more you have to compromise on your own ideas. So in this sense, you are going to be under complete control, won't be able to say your ideas, so you'll be... That's the same if you work for someone, you know. The bigger thing you work for, the bigger the compromises on your own artistic input. So yes, I'd say stay away from megacorps and just do your own small thing, and it may pay off eventually. It may not. You may end up on the street, you know, with not enough money to buy food, but you know, I think it's worth to give it a shot to be independent in this world. independent body, independent spirit, independent creation, independent work, independent. It's just a great thing to try and be independent. Spreading China virus message in an iPhone manufactured by slave labor in China. Yeah, I'm not a fan of China myself, you know, they got re-education camps out there. So this complicated subject, I'm not really qualified to talk about this stuff. As you know, they have some kind of state-run capitalism going on right now. I don't know how that thing works, if they actually allow people with ideas to come forward or not. That's a question. But if you have re-education camps in your country, then I don't know. I don't know. I prefer Romanian-made things. Check out Romanian-made things. Yeah, that's where I come from. This my flag right here. I'm not this ultra-nationalist guy, but I can tell you that you know, companies in Romania or companies from outside Romania who manufacture things with Romanian hands will give you quality products. You know, a Romanian puts quality in his craft, even if he's paid miserably. But no, I can say that the companies who have things in Romania, you know, factories pay Romanians the right amount of money. The engineers are paid rightfully, I'd say, for the economic status of Romania. Yeah, so that's alright. So I recommend, for example, hiking boots from Scarpa. Yeah, they're made in Romania. It's an Italian company, makes stuff in Romania. It's really good stuff. That's what I have. Leather, high quality leather hiking boots. That's what I'm talking about. Do you think China will take over the New World Order? That's a question right there. What if they are the New World Order? Their tentacles seem to spread in the Western countries right now, when it comes to the ideology, you know. Google Mind War Operations, the psychology of victory. Do you think? Let's see here. I know what the streets are like. Where I live, they are cold. Romain Loro says. Well, I hope you can find some fire. Some fire in your soul. Keep you warm enough for the night. Traditional culture of Romania. Man, that's a big thing. We have a lot of culture and tradition. We have a lot of music. We have a lot of... so much diversity of culture here. Even though we are a technically small country, if you compare it with Russia or with United States, let's say we had like 20 million people as a population, so we're not as small as Liechtenstein, for example, but we do have a lot of diversity. Everything is different from place to place, and I hope we could keep that intact, but we can't, because you know, everyone is brainwashed to leave Romania and work in the West to find a better life. Find a better life in the New World Order. But they're really good guys, Romanian people. I just wish they would stay more to their identity and preserve some of it, man. Here's the thing, communists came and destroyed our ability to think for ourselves and our ability to make our own ideas come to life. Like, you can't be your own farmer. Like, my grandfather was a farmer and he was an inventor, making his own tools to be able to farm. Then the communists came and took everything and said, no, 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 now everything is centralized. You don't have to think anymore. You're just a worker now, and we will take care of you. And that happened for like 50 years. And after that was done, you know, no one was able to think for themselves, and kind of things started to crash. Then our government sold our factories and everything to incapable entrepreneurs, which sold everything to scrap metal. So now we have a bunch of people who are incapable of independent thought, and industry non-existent, even though we have every resource imaginable, including gold. Yeah, that they destroy Poland also, Pavel S says. I think Poland still has some balls to say no to some of the European Union things, as well as Hungary. Hungary and Poland, I think they are really cool. We try to also make kind of an alliance, ideologically speaking, with the Hungarians and the Poles, but we weren't able to do so because the party that proposed that was immediately accused of being like a nationalist party and like a plague that must be avoided. So now we have a liberal party with a new party in control, even though the so-called nationalist party won the parliament. You know, the other parties allied, and now the SJW still are in control, and we can't ally with the Hungarians and with Poland, and we you know, suck the shaft of the European Union and the United States, which is kind of going down the drain at the moment, ideologically speaking, in the battle of ideas. It's not that great. I'm getting a little bit drunk here, guys. I have you know, some double distilled stuff with like 60 degrees in this, or like somewhere between 40 and 60. It's not, it does wonders to your mind. So I don't know if I'm making a fool of myself now, or if I'm actually bringing something constructive to the table, which can you know, make your time worth on this stream, on this and with this occasion. I would like to salute the Institute 91 in the YouTube chat room, who makes some fantastic synthwave music, inspired by 80s B-movie action stuff. He recently released a track inspired by Peter Gabriel, a cover of a Peter Gabriel song, to which he added a lot of identity too. So in a sense, it's not just a cover, it's a unique cover with an extra part added to the end. So be sure to check out the Institute 91's channel in the chat room right there. So with my recent video, the review of Cyberpunk 2077 and occult interpretation as well, I was able to reduce my subscribers to 60 people. So I don't know, I know you guys don't care about that, but I'm just saying, you know, every time I make a new video now, it seems that I lose people rather than gain people. But I'm glad I have a few people sticking around with me, and that's all I need to keep going, really. If I see familiar names, some of you guys have been here for like years and years, and that's really nice. I would like to also salute Paradox 5150, a really a real American, who promotes the values of freedom and independence right there in his family and his neighborhood. And I'm glad you took the time, Paradox, to check out the live stream and see me make a fool of myself in public. It's the greatest thing of owning a YouTube channel. Yeah, losing subs is a good thing nowadays. It shows that you're on the right path. Of course, we got Joey Fortrack also in the chat room right under the Institute 91. So we're talking about the Synthwave artist combination over here. Joey Fortrack is a fantastic artist himself who masters the world of voice as well as the guitar work. He is a fantastic electronic guitar player, and we collaborated on a track called Coming Home, also with Shikimo on the track where he delivers an amazing guitar solo. He has his own track, so you can check him out. His Polemic Heart is his artist name, and he's an amazing creator. But not only that, he's an amazing thinker. Follow him on Twitter. He has the courage to say some things that others don't. So he's a real guy, and that's really cool. In the world of synthwave, we are dealing with a lot of circle jerking and a lot of again, political correctness. People are afraid to show their opinions because they lose followers and they lose promotion opportunities. They're afraid to ruin their artistic image. And that's understandable, you know. This crazy world we live in gets you in a point where you're afraid to say what, and you know, that doesn't mean you are a bad person, or it's just how it is, you know. A lot of people are afraid to say what they want to say, and that's just how things are. It's really sad. It's really sad that our voices are not heard, and that we're afraid to say our voices because we lose our jobs, because these people are crazy enough to call your workplace and say what you've said on Twitter. That's not that great. Paradox 5150 salutes me back, and that's really cool. Yeah, Polemic Heart. Check him out. Yes, chill. It's a long weekend for the weird 2020 Christmas. The nonconformist says. Yeah, it's the weirdest year I have ever lived. I got to a point where I'm, you know, so disappointed in humanity that I don't even want to make videos anymore. But I can't help it. I gotta make at least one video in a year. So I will do that. Know what I'm saying? Cyberpunk 2077 is very occultish. There is a whole subplot meaning around the tarot cards. Haven't finished it yet, so don't know what it means. I mean, who's gonna hunt down those tarot cards in the cities, you know? If you don't play this game, it's in the game you have this mission to follow the tarot cards, right? In a cyberpunk world, in a modern world, you're not allowed to be a Christian, right? But you're allowed to follow all these other religions and other Eastern philosophies, Asian things. Yeah, it's all fine to follow all the other things, just not Christianity. that's how it is now in the modernity era, you know. So even though everyone claims to be an atheist and everyone claims to be on the science thing, why is it cool to go on the tarot thing, or, you know? But yeah, in Cyberpunk 2077, you gotta find all the tarot symbolism around the blocks. You have to collect them, and it's really boring to do that, so I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, you have all this stuff. It's really boring. I'm trying to do the main quest, so at least I know what's going on in the main quest, and do at least as few side quests as possible. There's a lot of cool side quests though, like there's one with the taxi company who's led by this super intelligent AI, artificial intelligence system, and he, as an artificial intelligence, is dealing with rogue AIs. Him being a rogue AI himself, who took over the company as an AI, and then having rogue AIs who rebel against his wishes, and have all these taxi car rebelling, and you have to go and bring them back to the original artificial intelligence, and you have to decide in the end if you're gonna wipe them out or and restart the original artificial intelligence rogue AI. I'm repeating AI a lot. That's what happens when you drink Palinka. And the other thing is to let them loose, let the artificial intelligence taxis to go upon the town free, unaware that it's a very dangerous world out there. But the game makes you feel like you are bad if you wipe out those AIs. Even Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves' character, says that you are a piece of shit, literally, if you choose that ending, which kind of influences you as a game player. It's like, man, I don't want this guy to call me a piece of shit, and then you reload the save and do the ending that Johnny Silverhand wants. Funny enough, the game points out that you are being influenced by Johnny Silverhand's view on reality. They say like, hey, do you notice that your choices are being influenced by Johnny Silverhand? But for me, it wasn't much of an influence. I just straight up chose what I wanted. But in the game, of course, choices don't really matter. So even if you choose to wipe out the AIs or not, you'll get the same reward at the end, just slightly different. And it's the case with many of the side quests. You get the same reward. Your choices don't matter that much. So it's not really a true role-playing game. Yes, you feel like you are your role, but I know in Skyrim, if you do something, or in Fallout, if you choose a thing, you get a different reward than if you choose the other path. So in a way, this game is a bit limiting, and it just gives you the illusion of choice, like I have said in my review. Yeah, and there's another game which another side quest which I found really interesting, about this really creepy guy who keeps children, he kidnaps teenagers and puts them in some kind of laboratory for experiments. And there are people in he lured them with this website that kind of catered to the anxious teenager who doesn't feel accepted in the world, and offered the solution, which was to be put in an experimental laboratory, just as hamsters, So in the beginning, he lured them. He showed that he's very understanding to their thoughts, but in reality, he just wanted to lure them to become a hamster, and that's what happens as well in the real world. The teenagers are being exploited and attracted in certain cultural places, all this non-binary shit, like, yeah, we understand you can be who you want to be, and then use them in the movements to enforce some shit upon society, to restrain freedom of thought and say that everything is hate speech, and slowly but surely work our way to a centralized system which destroys freedom, basically. And they don't realize that they're being used, but they're basically hamsters. Yeah, not to mention all the symbolism, and they get to worship all this occult and all this magic stuff. Yeah. Sorry if I'm being incoherent over here. It's just a spontaneous stream. I'm not really good with spontaneous streams. I'm really good with making scripts and talking from the script. But I think it's good for you guys to see how I am as a person and how I drink my Eastern European home-brewn stuff. It's not home-brewn by me, but by a friend who lives close by. So, you see, Lady K is in the chat room, old subscriber of this channel. Very nice to have you here through these times. I'm glad that you are, you know, in the position in which you can still go on the internet and say hello to me. A lot of people are less fortunate. They lost their jobs. They lost a lot of things with these coronavirus restrictions, so they are, you know, and I have a lot of friends, you know, I live in a tourism-based town. I have people who work as waiters, and they're not able to be waiters anymore. And, you know, no one's gonna give them free money, it's loaned money. I don't know, it's just a sucky situation right now. So yeah, thank you for being here with me, and it's good to see some people here. Great Truth 123. What do you think of the MK Ultra Neuralink conspiracy? I'm not sure if Neuralink is hooked to MK Ultra, but I do think that Neuralink is a thing that you should avoid. It is offered as the solution against the AI who is getting smarter and smarter, right? So Elon Musk is saying that we have to cope with these AIs that are getting smarter and smarter by augmenting stuff in our brains to be able to think faster. But again, you're opening a vulnerability when you are adding a technology to yourself. So Neuralink, this was predicted in a game called Prey, which is a game in space with a shuttle where people are have made a place for the elites to live in, and they make neuromods out there for people to enhance their comprehension capabilities and their thinking capabilities and all that. But the neuromods are based off of typhons, which are entities that they have captured from space, which they harvest the substances from, and they use to make these neuromods. Typhons are kind of black goo creatures, yeah, if you're into the black goo stuff, you know what that's about. Of course, there's a lot of black goo going on in Death Stranding. You know, at some point the character coughs a lot of black goo substances from his mouth, and you know, black goo is the matter that kind of pulls him in the ground. I didn't play that game because I can't stand the grind. I'm not gonna just walk for hundreds and hundreds of miles carrying something. That's just not the gameplay that I like. However, I do think that it can be appealing, knowing that you have to reach the destination and help save humanity, but it's just a bit too much. So I would like to make a video on the black goo in Death Stranding. There's some people who probably don't understand what I'm talking about. My most viewed video right now is the Synthwave documentary. So they're probably wondering, what have I subscribed to? What is this guy talking about here? To which I can reply that everything is connected to me. You know, the reason that I even like retro music is because it pulls me away from this present that I don't like very much, and where it's heading to, and all the lifeless stuff that we see, the dead culture, the dead movies, dead music, everything is dead. Games are dead, everything is dead, and they not only that, but they push ideology through these things, manipulate us in certain directions, and I don't like that. I don't like being pulled in places. I like to be independent. I like to have my own thoughts as much as possible. Of course, we all have our thoughts inspired from what the previous generations created artistically or philosophically or historically, or you know. But when you have a reality that pushes you in a place where you feelings are banned, you know, you're not allowed to feel or experience anything authentic, is there when I have a problem with the mainstream culture. You know, this didn't used to be this way. Even in the 80s, a very superficial time, you had more authentic things, you know. Even hearing a guitar solo can be an awakening thing, you know. What do you have with the early 2000s and so on? You have less solos, more robotic, more loop-based music, more it's just not that great. John Loth is also present in the chat room. How late am I? He says. Well, I have no idea. I have no idea how much I've been streaming. But I'm saying my thoughts here, my true and real thoughts. And that's what I think John Loth has an amazing channel, guys. If you go and visit his channel, you will see a lot of audiobooks. But audiobooks from books that really matter. You can learn a thing or two from the books that John Loth reads. However, I do think that John Loth should sometimes appear with his own thoughts from the insights that he has learned from reading all these amazing books, and tell us what he thinks about the present. And that's what I think you should do, John Loth. Do the thing. Do the thing. Do your thing sometimes. I know you have your people who listen to your audiobook stuff, but I personally would like to hear more of your personal thoughts. That's what I'm fighting for, you know, people to be able to express themselves in the way they want without having any limits. And more limits are being placed upon these mainstream platforms. YouTube and Facebook and Twitter are removing posts, removing things that for me are not offensive. Like offensive, you know, this thing is being used too much nowadays to describe things that are not offensive. Just like people who feel raped by a word. Like words are not really rape. You know, it's just thoughts. That's not realistic. It helps to pave the way again towards a very superficial robotic society. We will not be robots, but we act like robots. I think that's the first step, and then we will become robots after we act like robots, kind of like that. You know, you know, speaking about this controversial topics with the coronavirus, like, why do you have to remove people's opinions, you know, on YouTube and Facebook and about this subject? You know, what's so bad about people expressing themselves? You know, I thought democracy was about being to be able to do all this, but of course it's a lie. It's the illusion of choice. That's how video games nowadays say they have choices in them. You can select your path, but you can't select your path. It's the same in the real world. You can't express yourself. People get offended. It's really stupid. But I myself find the restrictions way too harsh. No, I don't believe the reality in which we live in. That's why I get disappointed and I don't even want to make videos anymore, because what's the point? People are already very, very brainwashed. And who are you gonna win, you know? Of course, there's people who love freedom, and you guys who are commenting in this chat know what I'm talking about. And that's great. But we are so few, you know, there's one here, one there, one like... Here in Romania, though, I would say people are more open, you know, like even today, like I took a taxi and taxi driver was against the restrictions. I took a taxi back, the other guy was also against restrictions. Okay, some whatever. Yeah, I'm willing to compromise a little bit, but it's getting to ridiculous levels, you know. We're talking about people not be able to do their jobs. I've told you already, you know, about the restaurants and my friends who work in this field, and I'm a ski instructor. It really affects us, man. Like, I'm living off reserves from like the last years, and tourism was really good. Now, no tourism, no nothing. You're not allowed, man. Like, okay, 0.03% of death. Those could be a lot of people, but I think there's a lot of people who will have no jobs and will probably... Like, what about the people who die of famine? How much percentage will those be because of all the restrictions? So I'm not afraid to talk about this this subject, you know. There's a lot of authoritarian, tyrannical stuff going on. And people who rage, man, they become like animals and rage at you if you talk against these things. Some of them might be your best friends. And that's really disappointing, you know. Everyone going on the kind of like the Greta Thunberg train, you know. Listen to the science, listen to the science. But again, you know, like I said in my recent video, my Cyberpunk review, it's about listening to their science, you know. There's multiple sciences, there's funded by different people, and there's not just one science. So when the people say listen to this, the science is completely flawed, I just want you to listen to their point of view and then make fun of you if you have a different point of view. Anyway, thanks for watching this stream. It's a random stream right now. I'm probably confused out there. I make conspiracy videos about games. I also talk about the game mechanics and all that sort of thing, and I also post music compilations sometimes that I think are worth listening to. You know, music is a thing that speaks to one's soul. It can be something that can turn a key inside your mind and make you think differently compared to the mainstream music, which is made to turn you into a vegetable. So I like to make some music compilations sometimes. My recent music compilation was some Eastern European music from the 80s, from Yugoslavia, Romania, Russia, Finland, you know, places who were under the Soviet tyrannical boot. Even though there was a Soviet tyrannical boot, there were still people trying to make music and say their thoughts. You know, it was a movement in the Soviet times. People who wanted to express themselves under the risk of getting put in a work camp. You know, they would actually just take you from the street. If you had long hair, they would take you from the street and just cut your hair and then shove you back in the street. You know, so there were some human rights being violated in those times. If you wrote a book against the party, you would be put in a work camp. I'm not even gonna say if you're a Christian priest and refusing to tell the most intimate things about, you know, because we have a thing, I don't know how it's called in English, but you know, when people come to tell the sins to the priest, and if the priest refused to tell some of those things to the party, then they would be removed because they weren't a slave to the party, so they would be tortured for refusing to, you know, basically expose people who enjoyed freedom. So that's why, for example, I think it's very strange to think that Christianity, like people who think Christianity is primitive and to be destroyed because it's not inclusive or you know, something like that. Because, for example, in Romania's case, it was the thing that was always enlightening the flame of freedom inside people's minds, which ultimately defeated the communist system, you know. So they're making a lot of things upside down in this new world. So I don't really like that, you know what I'm saying? Yes, in English it's called confession. So if you were a priest in the Soviet territory, you had to note down those confessions and report everything to the Communist Party. And if you didn't do so, you were tortured and put in camps, work camps, until you work until you die because you were malnourished. Fantastic stuff. And we have work camps still existing today and re-education camps in China, but everyone is you know, looking up to them and say, oh look, they had this amazing state capitalist system, it works great, look at their booming economy. But they forget to look at the moral things. I guess we are breeding a more immoral society every minute, and that's what's cool nowadays. They've been working at this a lot. I'm sorry to say, but United States was the main instrument to communicate this rebellion against moral things. In the beginning, I appreciated that, you know, like for example, if you were in Romania in the 80s and you were oppressed by this horrible authoritarian system, you would look towards the rock bands and the pop stars of the United States, and you would look to that as freedom. But you know, it's not freedom, it's all package. It's a package of lies. I don't know, all we got after the 90s was McDonald's and Coca-Cola, to the point where Coca-Cola was synonym to like Christmas. Like I remember when I was 11 and drinking 2 liters of Coca-Cola because it was Christmas. Like I would just gulp those things. You know, people understood freedom wrong. I do have a lot of appreciation towards the United States. They have some people there with passion who love freedom, and that's really great. And a lot of people who make fun of them and turn them into a redneck stereotype, which is not that nice. Anyways, I'm talking to myself here and I'm not even looking to the comments that much. Yugoslavia wasn't under Soviet Union, however, it was a socialist and it wasn't good for some. Yeah, I have had a conversation with Shortwire, the Croatian artist, cyberpunk artist, and you know, he told me about Yugoslavia and about the fact that it wasn't under the I mean, I know history myself, you know, but it still was under the influence. I think there was a lot of influence from the Soviet bloc. And yeah, that's not great. Look, I'm not gonna say all socialism is bad. Maybe some socialism is good. That's what I promote, you know. Let's see where socialism works and where it doesn't, and where capitalism works and where it doesn't. You know, like I said, we had some horrible privatizations going on here in Romania. We ended up selling our gas to a company from France, which you know, sells us the gas overpriced. Or for example, I am a victim of overpriced water in a mountain place where water, it doesn't even cost too much to maintain the water. Like, water just falls down, and okay, there's some filtering going on, but that's it. When we don't have fluoride here in Romania, at least. But there's this company, this major company of waterworks in Romania, and just goes to show that they only care about the money, and they don't really care about the value of their product. They overprice things, and because they know that they control that area and no one can kick them out. That's not really nice, you know. What's also interesting about Romania, we pioneered oil drilling. We pioneered oil rigs, and you know, we are the ones who can't make a profit off of that, and other people are in charge of our oil rigs and selling it to us to overpriced, you know, to more prices. Like we have economical injustices going on. Like in the West European Union, people have far bigger wages than we have in Eastern Europe, and yet we pay the same price for a liter of gas. The Institute 91 in the YouTube chat room. There's no other chat room but the YouTube chat room in this case. I'm not restreaming to different websites, it's just this YouTube channel. Don't even want to... I'm not sure how I feel about BitChute and all. That's I appreciate them for promoting freedom. The audience is much less though. I think that we need to make an impact here though, on the main websites, you know, to show that we have a voice and we're not gonna take this censorship and all this crap. But yeah, the Institute 91 says I'm Southern, so I fit the stereotype pretty well. But I agree 100%. That was relating to the thing I said earlier, that people make fun of freedom-loving people and they just put them in one pot of the stereotypical, you know, redneck type, which is really dumb. But I think there are some values, you know, there even some values. Old school America, you know, Clint Eastwood and stuff. Like, what's wrong with having a barbecue? What's wrong with having a juicy steak in the back of your house? What's wrong with that? I enjoy a big steak like this. What's the problem? They're even trying to make people think nowadays that, you know, fat is bad for you and stuff like that. Like, no, man, fat is nice. The carbohydrates are the problem. I learned this from my girlfriend, you know. She's in the whole nutritional stuff. So if you just take down the bread, eat meat and a bit of vegetables, that's the perfect diet, and you'll be fine. Just gonna pause the radio for now. That's too commercial sounding voice. See, that's the problem with Synthwave. It's becoming more and more commercial with like pop sounding voices, when in the beginning it was all about being real and less mainstream. You know what I'm saying? And Institute 91 over here is an artist, and also Joey Fortrack, who is polemic art. They make some unique style synthwave out there, and I say you should check them out. And Artyom Props makes really cool props. There's people here in the chat room making stuff. John Loth, he is a welder guy. Welder guy. You know, there's people making stuff here. I have tremendous respect for people who make things. You know, make things. That's a blessing to be able to make things and not just be a silly cog, you know, working for a horribly automized system and working as slave, even if you are an artist and you are not allowed to be an artist because you work at some crappy education company that says that you're not allowed to draw this and this and this because it offends this and this and this. This is crazy, man. I look towards the United States as the place where you can say anything you want. That was really inspiring to me. And now it's becoming the place where you can't say anything. It's a really, really strange predicament. How the reforms that have been done, you know, from the initial idea, which was to create this freedom-loving place where people can create their own enterprises and make their own journeys in life, to now when the journeys in life are presetted and you're not allowed to say this and this and that. Fantastic. Fantastic in the wrong ways. Well, I am in a pretty good predicament. Here in Romania, you know, people are still allowed, well, I'm not sure if it's legal, but you know, people can make their own, they can make their, you know, alcoholic drinks at home, and they don't have much problems with the law. I don't know how it is where you are and if you are allowed to make or not. The moonshine! Yeah, let's be redneck stereotypical over here, you know? What's the problem in making your own things? At least Cyberpunk 2077 didn't make Synthwave more to be marketed by mainstream, the nonconformist says. I guess, yeah, we can still be a little bit in the underground. Because if everyone finds out what Synthwave is, they're gonna just mainstream, they're gonna make it mainstream for everyone. Yeah, but it's already kind of mainstream, you know. The Weeknd made a Synthwave song, the Lady Gaga made a Synthwave song, Muse inspired from the aesthetics, Dragon Force, well, I guess they're not really mainstream, but yeah, you got a lot of influences. I want to make the real stuff though, just like how I like to drink the authentic things made by real people. Is the same when it comes to culture, and when it comes to things in general. I like homemade things. That's why I like. That's the side of capitalism that I like. You know, to be able to make your own things and sell it. That's really cool. You know, as opposed to be centralized and even being given blueprints as to what you're supposed to create. Everyone creates the same thing. That's not gonna be so great, you know. Octavian Raresh, hello Vlad, the best key instructor on the planet. Shout out from your Padawan from last year. Oh my god. I think I know who this guy is. Yeah, he's a client of mine. I taught him his first steps in skiing. I don't even know if we can meet and continue our progress in skiing with the restrictions that we have this year. What's going on, kitty cat? Yeah. I have a very talkative kitty cat. I love him though. You can just listen to him talking for a while. What? What do you want, little boy? Huh? He has his litter box, and every time he does something with the litter box, he feels the need to communicate that. That's I wonder what would happen if we would have to communicate every time we go to the litter box. But yeah, in my little ski resort over here in Predel, there's no snow, and it's very strange situation. Because I've always had Christmas with snow, and looks like this is gonna be a Christmas without snow, but there's still hope. There are still 2 days. I would wish everyone out there a very nice Christmas. I know a lot of people out there, and there are some parts of the earth where you probably never had snow in Christmas, but you had some kind of fake Christmas, you know, those movies on TV who show you the snow and stuff, especially in America, right? But I had real Christmas. I had with snow. I would play outside in the snow as a kid. I would make tunnels in the snow. That's the childhood, man, that I'm really happy that I got, you know. And now, no snow, pandemic, restrictions. The world is falling apart. Are they modifying the climate? Is it natural? Is it cycles of the sun? Is it man made? I don't buy that it's because of us. I don't buy it's because of our cars, you know. There's obviously industries who pollute way more than we can as little people, you know what I'm saying. And we have Corens. We have Corens in the chat, a really good friend of mine. Also appreciates, you know, he has his values and virtues, and you know, he just likes freedom. And over there in Sweden is kind of hard because the system is kind of SJW influenced, but at least they had less of a lockdown than we had over here. Got my main guys there, Paradox and Corens. Got my Synthwave crew, Joey, Polemic Hard, the Institute 91, John Loth, Lady K, and the non-conformist, of course. Really nice to see all you guys, you know. Maybe I should stream sometimes randomly, just to be able to kind of catch up and make our own little community going on here. I don't know. Let the unsubscriber phase begin, though, because every time I open my mouth I lose more subscribers, but I don't care about that. I don't care. If I cared about that, I would make a video every week, and I'm not about that life. I'm about having some real interaction, some real topics to be discussed, you know, not making videos out of nothing. Though you probably could, you know, if you devote yourself to researching topics, and maybe you could upload a video every day. But that's not me. I'm more of a... I like the natural approach. So I'm gonna be probably stay here for about 20 more minutes. If you have any questions, like direct questions, like, I understand, man, I don't post many videos. You're probably, if you have some things unaddressed by my very rare videos, I can give you my perspectives right here, right now, on this live stream. Pre-Christmas. I hope everyone has nice celebrations going on. I know you know, the consumerist times made all about what new devices you get as a Christmas gift, like iPhones and Samsungs, and but it's not about that. We all know that, at least the people who are subscribed to me. Yeah, John Lothar, you can join the Rec Network, he says. You know, I'm not so sure about that. You know, when I started my like being the idea guy behind Rec Network, I envisioned the place where you can say everything you want, but in time it became a family-friendly place, because the guy who is the true legal owner, and he's a good friend of mine, but he doesn't see all these things, you know. He's kind of like an establishment. I don't know, he goes with the establishment, I guess. That's what it is. And he's unfriendly for people to use that infrastructure to talk about the real things, which is sad. So I guess just talk with me here, or you know, feel free to email me on vosto at protonmail.com. You will find it on the about section of this YouTube channel. It's the business email, let's say. But no, it's just the email I use for the real talk. So if you wanna hit me about everything, just you know, feel free to use that email, man. Email is kind of a vintage thing right now, right? Where we can instantly talk with each other. Alternatively, I do have a Discord, though I have my own beefs with Discord because they banned my initial account. You know, I don't even know why. I have sent I have contested their decision and have asked them for proof of my misbehavior on the platform, and they were unable to send me any proof. I got automated messages saying that I initiated harassment and violence and hate speech, but where? I asked for the proof and they didn't give me any proof at all. I don't have a Nitro account or anything like that, but I do have friends with Nitro accounts, pay money to Discord, so I thought that they would listen to them and talk maybe in my name, but it didn't work. You just can't talk, man, with this megacorps, man. Goddamn megacorps, evil corporations. So I am in the land of the band. Me and Paradox and a couple of others have a server called the Land of the Band. So my Discord account, where, god damn, I don't know where to check my Discord. I don't, hey Paradox, can you do me a favor and paste my Discord account in the chat room, because I am a bit drunk right now and I can't find my own credentials. So paste my Discord account so people can add me as friends. Or anyone out there, Joy 4-track or the Institute, or yeah, just put the Michael Stevens, Crăciun fericit, an nou fericit. Yeah, thank you for giving me the positive wishes in my own native language. That's very nice of you, Michael Steven. A good person, and he's a good Christian. And what's the problem, man? Why can't we talk about Christians now? Like, why are they seen as evil and hate speech, and where it's the exact opposite, you know? and Christmas is all about the birth of Jesus Christ, and why is that removed from everything and replaced with this consumerism ideology? That's something you won't see from me. I'm not afraid to talk about these things. For me, this is the normal, and the mainstream is the abnormal. So there's that. No, I don't have a new Discord yet. I don't have a new Discord server. I was just looking for my own Discord account so I can post it here so people can add me as friends. And in the eventuality of me making a new server, because I lost my control to my original server, because I got banned for unknown reasons that I wasn't offered the proof for. You know, in this eventuality, I would send you guys the new servers and all that. Yeah, well, you know, I'm not gonna talk about the details when Jesus was actually born, but I think it's nice that we have a day of the year to think about that, you know. I am not a theologist, I can't tell you about the details. Michael Steven, however, in the chat room is well versed. He was in the Catholic school of theology, and he realized the corruption. He was about to become a priest, but he realized the corruption, and now it's more about the money now. So he retired in a small monastery in a village where he is living his life now. Sorry about dropping all those personal things about you, Michael, but I think you are a good example. And you know your stuff. Yeah, Artyom Prop saying I look like Jesus. Well, you know, the man had style. What can I say, you know? Got my long hair, I got my beard, and I feel very natural to wear them, you know. Every time I shave, I feel like I am part of the Roman Empire, the Western version. Now I represent the Eastern version, the version that the Romans called barbarians. So I am a proud barbarian, you know. I like to be a barbarian. I don't want to be modern at all, especially in 2020 with all these. I don't know. Just let me be a barbarian. I like to live in my cave. I got a cave. I live far away from the mega cities. You know, if we're talking about Cyberpunk, it's all about the mega cities. I live far away from mega cities, and I am very proud of that. And why is no one dropping my? No, not the link to my server, Paradox. Just my account name, because I'm too dumb to figure it out right now. Because Discord changed their things, man. I used to just be able to go my account and just see my details there, but I don't see them anymore. I guess I am obsolete now. Finally I get to be technologically obsolete. I was looking forward to this point in time where I'm left in the past. Maybe the past is better. Maybe that's why I like retro synth music, because I like the past. Past had times where people weren't fighting with each other. It had less division. It had even the mainstream movies, man. You could watch them and they were fine. And now it's all filled with agendas and really, really boring ideas as well. All right, thanks for dropping my real account, my Discord account in the chat. The reason why I say my server, don't drop my server in the chat, because I will remove that and replace it soon with something else. Because I lost my ownership to my own server because I got banned again. I have to rewind the whole story. You know, I don't know why I got banned, but like I said, you know, everything can be interpreted as hate speech now, so be careful what you say out there. It can be reported by some overly sensitive assholes, and yeah, you will get wrecked, because now the people who work for these companies are SJW extraordinaires. So that's what you got right now. In the IT world and in the entertainment world, you got a bunch of sensitive... And this new generation. I'm only 30 years old, and I'm talking about like this new generation. I am the new generation. But there's this new generation that has been brainwashed to see everything as hate speech. And it's not that great for our future, because those are the people who will, you know, take the new positions of power in our future. And it doesn't look that good for us. Alright, thanks everyone for the friend request. Hey, I was thinking about, you know, since we were on this whole Christianity topic and how it's seen as primitive, and everything that Eastern philosophy is seen as amazing, and especially if you are an atheist, that's the most amazing part, right? Believe in the science that locks you up in your room for years. Yeah, it's great, guys. No, I like science, but I like real science, you know, not the one that seeks to destroy your human rights. Yeah, so I'm thinking of actually making a video developing a story that shows the realness behind a belief like Christianity. Like, look, I live in Romania, and here we have villages, and you know, everyone's basically a Christian, and either Catholic or Orthodox. Mostly Catholics in Transylvania, and the rest Orthodox in the other parts. So here we had villages, and you know, these villages, we had people with their own ways of life, and like a small church, you know. And those people, how is it happening that, you know, those people are so friendly? Like, they're friendly. If they see you coming from a journey in the mountains and you end up in a village, why are they so like, they're so friendly and kind? And you know, it's like, that's the Christian values over there, and the tradition of hundreds and hundreds of years that we have here. And it's not that bad, man. What's bad about, you know, having a real childhood? What's bad? Like, you're not on your phone all the time, you're not a slave to technology, you play in the dirt, you know. Those people are so great, man. You can see the spark in their eyes, and they share everything that they have with you. You know, they're just so great, man. The little that they have, that's fantastic, you know. And the communities together and stuff like that. But of course, they're destroying that. They've destroyed that spirit. Their kids all did education, which is good, right? You learn how to read and write and stuff, but then you get pulled in university or whatever, scholarships, and then you just leave the village. So there's no one in the villages now, because everyone works in another place where it's technically, economically better, but spirit-wise, they're alone out there. So they may have been raised amazingly. Maybe they will have an impact on those in the proximity of where they operate. So people, like, he may work at one of those village guys, upgraded village guys who works at the company and can influence those people to be better, or their friends in the cities. But the nucleus which created that person is gone, which is the village, the Romanian village. And that's what the communists did as well. They removed everyone from the villages and put them in these blocks forcefully in a city to forcefully populate an area, and then make them work in the factories, and 12 hours a day, to the point where they forget who they are. And the rations were terrible, the food rations. They ate soy, salami, and just horrible. And in the villages they would eat really nice. They would eat fresh vegetables, and they would eat like grass-fed pigs and cows and chicken, and they had everything. So why leave that area, you know, for this full, you know, scam of living in the city and being modern? I don't see it, man. I don't see it. You have a smartphone, that doesn't mean you're smarter. You have a lot of information, sure, but now you can have info. You can live in the middle of nowhere like I am. You know, you can live in the mountain village and have internet and have access to all the information, and you can educate yourself. It's great. Valiant One. Vosto Vlad said he likes free speech and you timed me out. I see. Well, I haven't timed you out. I don't even use any moderation on this YouTube chat room. You guys can say whatever you want, as long as it's not personal harassment to another person here. And real harassment, I'm not talking about offending feelings. You know, just generally not be an asshole, and you won't see anything from me. But I don't time out. I think it must be some kind of error or something. And if it's about the rect IRC network, that's not me. I'm becoming more and more gross here. See, I'm going over the 2 hours stream, so that's where I become less and less coherent and more and more gross. So I should probably go away now. As soon as I'm finished this glass, I'm out. This live stream, I don't know if I should leave it to be unlisted or delete it. I don't think. Yeah, I think the live stream should just be live. The purpose of a live stream is to be live. And yeah, I'll just keep these things live. Why don't you do Twitch? I don't have time. I don't know. What to do on Twitch, you know? Stream a bunch of Cyberpunk 2077? I don't even like the game that much. That's the problem with all new games. I don't like them that much. Wasteland 3. I was looking forward to the Wasteland 3 video game. And then I started to play. It because look, Wasteland 3 has developers which were on the first Wasteland games that were in the 80s previous to the Fallout games. I was looking forward to that, but then when I started playing, you know, I started to see that the main guy who leads the world in there is called the Patriarch. So it's like they're trying to make him look bad, so the Patriarch is bad. So like they're saying, like the message is very like feminist inspired, that like Patriarch, he rules the world, or something like that, and that's stupid, man, because that's all a myth. It's all a myth. There is no such thing as patriarchy. You can be what you want to be. The wage gap is a lie. You just have to, as a woman, you know, be attracted by things. Like if you want to make money, just go in fields that make money, you know. It's just more men go into those fields, so it ends up looking like sexism, but it's not real. At the same time, there's a level design where you go in this level and there's a big robot of Ronald Reagan who is a caricature of someone who talks against communism. So they're making fun of the guy who talks against communism, which to me is really, really stupid, really dumb. Because you should make fun of communism It's really a really dumb system. It destroys people, it removes their independence, it force colonizes areas, removes people from their roots, it puts them into big machinery where they become a cog and work for 12 hours a day. And the concept, like, family is still promoted, but only in the way that you produce more workers for the system, to then worship the party. Like, we seriously had people, the dictator here wanted, in Romania, I'm talking about people having to write poetry, kids reading poetry, worshipping the dictator as if it was some kind of god. So it can go to those levels, guys. If you allow communism, it may sound utopian and for the lower class and for the worker, but no, it ultimately creates a bunch of robots. So to see in a video game, you know, caricature of a capitalist guy who talks against communism, like, that was for me the final nail in the coffin of the game. And it was an agenda promotion rather than an experience where there is no agenda. It's just, in a video game, I'm looking for entertainment, and if you're gonna present ideologies, at least diversify them and not go in a certain extreme. I don't know. But yeah, so I was talking earlier that I want to do my own stories. Since all these games and movies are corrupted, I want to do my own stories where I insert forcefully my own ideologies. I'm tired of only them being able to put their ideologies. It's time for me to put. I didn't want to put my ideologies. I wanted a free plane where people would just have entertainment. But you know, they forced the line. So now I want to make stories that reflect my ideas, and I want to show you the virtues of people who live in villages and who have Christian belief systems, and they're amazing. And the mega city who kills off everything that is human of you and calls the Christians completely crazy, nut jobs, primitives, hateful, and everything. You know, I want, maybe I can do something like that. And not in a preachy way, or I just want to show the natural aspect. Like, I am inspired myself by my own culture and living in a small mountain village, and show how you can grow to have independent thought in such a system, in a ways more independent thought than someone who lives in the big city and is taught about how to be independent but is actually becoming a slave. So that's the type of cyberpunk I'm into. Against the machine, not working for the machine, not wanting to become the machine, but against the machine. My rants are endless. Yeah, Polygon. Neighbor was just here telling me what happened to Christians in Serbia with the Muslims. Wow, Serbs were considered the enemy by the US, and Muslims the good guys. Muslim doctors would let. So I guess this is all about the Albanian conflict and about Kosovo. And in this specific case, just very specific, I think that the Serbs have balls of steel that other nations would dream to have. Like, to have balls to stand up against the military industrial complex of the United States. That's some balls. That's beyond steel. That's some material we don't even have. So that's the Serbs. And I have a message to the Serbs, if there is any of them watching. Kosovo is Serbia. Kosovo is Serbia. And that's just the way it is. Kosovo je Serbia, to say in their language. I was fortunate enough to be able to visit Serbia. And I visited the Nikola Tesla Museum in Belgrade. A very beautiful city. The capital of the Serbians. And Nikola Tesla is Serbian mixed with Romanian. And it shows that love of the Serbs and Romanians can create a genius, which is Nikola Tesla. Guy in science, the type of science that I love. Type of science that wanted to bring more freedom to people. And the type of science that was closed down, and they stole all his inventions. The megacorps stole all of Nikola Tesla's inventions and used them for profit, because they're megacorps. While Nikola Tesla was banished and had a not such a happy end of his days. And the relationships between Romanians and Serbs is great. We don't have any historical conflict whatsoever. I am also, I think that even if there's, like, let's say a Turkish person watching the stream who is let's say, eternal enemy of Romania for what the sultans of the Ottoman Empire did to this land. It's not your fault. It's you are a new generation with that. That's the responsibility. You are a new generation. You should make positive things, and let's become friends, and let's make our ties, our multicultural ties, more strong, but without surrendering our culture to globalism. So let's just be independent. Everyone just live our way of life, but still be friends with each other, initiating trading and sharing what we all have, good and bad. Turkish people have amazing kebabs, and I am grateful for the best drunk people food. After you go to a concert and you drink a lot of alcohol, you want to get out and you want to eat some kebabs, which are always open. They're almost 24/7 open, so it's fantastic. ADK, like every invention ever made that could advance humans. I agree. Polygon, I built my first Tesla coil when I was 16. I'm almost 50. I have tremendous respect for you, sir. 50 years, that's an age. I hope you have acquired a lot of wisdom, and I hope you can pass some of that wisdom to us. I look forward to seeing how I evolved, and I hope I will catch 50 years so I can see how I become. I hope I will increase my wisdom skills if I don't become brain dead by the brainwash we have today. Please keep this video up, Vosto Vlad, limo driver Mike. I don't know, I think I already selected the video to not appear in us unlisted after it's finished. So this video may go down the drain. I don't know if I have said anything of value in this video anyway to deserve remaining. But if I do live streams in the future, I will make sure to bring back the points that I've discussed today. Because here's the thing, the brainwash system, mainstream world, repeats their messages every day. every day, 24 hours a day. Now, do we repeat our messages 24 hours a day? I don't think so. I barely say something. I have very few uploads on my channel. So, you know, the mainstream culture has obviously a tighter, stronger hand in the mix. And we have the responsibility to do more about that. You know what I'm saying? If you have your thoughts, you have something to say, say it. You know, I am not such a fortunate person. I don't have a big brain, so I don't have much to express. But if you have much to express, then you should make videos and you should say what you think. You know what I'm saying? Put the real talk out there, if we're still allowed to put some real talk, even though it's censored, even though it's being, you know, they have a giant shovel and they put dirt over our videos. Nice to hear you alive and mostly well, the non-conformist. I am mostly well. I agree. I am fortunate enough. And I am grateful for that. And that with great power comes great responsibility. So if I am allowed to use my free time for something, and I have the luxury to have what to eat and good internet, I should be doing something with it, right? Keep doing the live streams. This is good material even if you don't leave it up. Polygon says. Keep live streaming in future. Dom Dreams. I found your channel because Vigilant Christian Mario. Man, how is that guy even doing? Bro Easy says. Yeah, there was a point where big channel, we had like a Christian truth community going on, and people were sharing my stuff on their bigger channels, and that's why I have this number of subscribers. Even though now my most popular video is a Synthwave documentary, which is a genre that I love, and I wanted to document it since there was no one out there doing a good job of it. But yeah, there was that. However, it brought me a lot of people that are one-sided, and sometimes you want to chill and talk about like the game mechanics of a game or something like that. But no, those people are like, no, just talk about the occult stuff, just talk about the conspiracy stuff. And I'm not just that, you know, I'm not just the conspiracy-sided guy. There's more to me, you know. I like art, I like music, I want to show that stuff. I'm also a gamer, I want to share what's good, what's bad about that stuff. Also the ideologies and all that stuff, but it's all together, you know, so I like to do everything together. So if you can synchronize that, that's cool. You're a really good member of my audience if you are able to like the aspects that I'm presenting. If not, that's okay, you know. If you don't like some aspects and you think this channel is not helpful in any way, it's not like you don't feel that you want to spend your time here, that's fine also, you know. That I understand, like when people like the Vigilant Christian shared my stuff, I understand that, you know, some people are not gonna like the fact that I'm not yelling conspiracy all the time. But I do realize the world is fucked. Especially now, 2020 is destroyed. The worst year ever, as there's a new song by Scooter, guys, the German Euro dance hardcore, happy hardcore artist. Scooter made a song about 2020, and he just said fuck 2020, the worst year ever. He had the part in his lyrics that people laughed at because it's kind of funny, you know, because he's like this kind of like washed up late 90s, was popular in the late 90s, you know. So he comes out there with this video and saying stuck on the wrong channel, like chained to a dead camel in the lyrics of his song. So it sounds a little bit funny, but it's true though. We are stuck on the wrong channel, and we are chained to death, to the dead camel. He's right, we are chained in the desert, in the sand with the camel. Everyone is promoting death, the death of your spirit, the death of your mind. So you have to make it alive, you have to spark something in there, you know? You have to be yourself, but not in this superficial way that the mainstream says, be yourself, but in the way that we want you to be yourself. You know, just be yourself, the real self. And don't be afraid to say what you think, you know what I'm saying? I still have a little bit of this palinka left. So I'm gonna... Man, this saxophone really does the job. I don't know. Hopefully you can hear the background music. It's the midnight. Crockett's Revenge. Has a really nice saxophone in it. It's actually a real saxophone player, you know. I like electronic music that shows a bit of natural character here and there with a little bit of real instruments. Saxophone is really nice. My uncle used to play the saxophone. I play the guitar. I have a guitar there somewhere on the sofa. My uncle used to play saxophone. Sadly, in the communist time, so he had problems going over the border and playing in other places except Romania. But he was really good, and now he's still playing his saxophone without a band, though. He's like 75 years old now. He's just playing in the bathroom. He's playing in the bathroom now because he likes the reverb in the bathroom, you know. The bathroom has a nice reverberation. Some of you may sing opera songs in the bathroom. I know sometimes I sing. I like the reverb. Reverb is good. And the Institute 91, the guy who was here, who makes Synthwave, he actually performed his vocals on that Peter Gabriel cover he did with in the bathroom with the reverb of the bathroom, but diminuted. Wait, I'm making Romanian words in English again. So like he reduced the effect by singing between pillows. So that's some MacGyver, Evil Dead craftsmanship going on right there in music production. Paradox, yeah man, the sax. That's what I'm talking about. Chronologic says, save your freedoms now, not tomorrow. Now. I agree with that 100%. Max Torrents, there is only one law. Do no harm. Lady K says, the background music is amazing. I'm glad you can hear it, and I'm glad you can hear what I'm saying, because I just want the music to be the background. Matos Boy says they don't want we be unique, they want we be machines to control. That's clearly the case. And Max Torrance also says, and the government breaks that law every second. See, that's the point right there, you know. The government is not great, guys. Don't wish for more government. The mainstream is now to wish for more government. Everyone likes the government, so Even the punks like the government now. That's right. And they make fun of people who talk against restrictions for this corona business. So I guess we are the punks now, even if we don't have piercings and million tattoos, and we are the counterculture now. The tides have turned. Bethesda went the way of THQ garbage now. I mean, you can see the difference between Fallout 3, which allowed you to be what you wanted to be in the game, and Fallout 76, which you just have to follow the story. There's no choice, you just have to follow the story. You have to be the hamster in the wheel, and you just go how they want. And that's all the games today, man. That's how all games are. Cyberpunk 2077, you just follow the yellow dot. You just follow the carrot, boy. Follow the carrot. That's gaming. That's gaming in a nutshell, my friends, today. I'm sorry. Even the tactical games get streamlined. Even, you know, Total War series, you know, it used to be a fantastic game, right? Medieval 2 and the original Rome. And even Rome 2, if you install Divide et Impera mod. But in the Warhammer series, they made it happy looking so that mainstream people can play it. Casual gamers, you know. The happy graphics, the popping graphics. Like, man, I don't need popping graphics. I just need immersive, realistic gameplay. But you're not allowed to have any of that now. No tactics, no. Especially in the recent Troy iteration of Total War, tactics are even, like, at least in Total War or Warhammer 1 and 2, you can have some tactics, but in the Troy, there's no tactics. No tactics at all. It's just like bulbs of warriors fighting against other bulbs of warriors without any sense. That's it. You just select your bulb and right click. There's no separate units. Nothing of that sort. I may be wrong, but that's how I see it. It's really dumbed down. Everything is dumbed down, guys. Everything is dumbed down. A citizen's obligations is to know their laws and governances of the country they are in. Study your constitutions. Well, my constitutions have been completely sent in the garbage with this coronavirus situation. No one cares. We have something called the lawyer of the people. The lawyer of the people tried to say that the constitution was completely ignored. No one cares. They keep doing the same things. We have a German president here. It's Nazi 2.0 going on, you know. Yeah. Hey, finally, so look, a track of mine is playing in the background, and I didn't even put it. So I hope you guys like this beat I made 3 years ago as a background sound. Follow the yellow brick road, lady. Kay says, yeah, that's gaming nowadays. Just follow. Don't even look at the map. Just follow that dot on your screen. Holy Fisher. Yeah, I agree. Well, it matters what is on your inside. However, when you realize that the inside is so rich, and the body is independent and so powerful, you realize that you don't really need to go extravagant with the way it looks. You know, I just, for example, me, I just stay natural all the time. All the time. The Institute 91. This is the only Midnight song I've ever liked. I assume you were talking about the one with the saxophone. Yeah, that's a really nice track. The nonconformist. Wait, what? German president of Romania? Yeah, I mean, we have a minority of German. I am also quarter German myself, but like on the Austrian side. So yeah, Klaus Johannes is our president. He's very much German, but also Romanian, you know. But he kind of shows his allegiance to Angela Merkel and Germany and what the European Union wants all the time. That's not to say that I love Russia, you know. Russia has Vladimir Putin as a dictator for he modified the constitution to be able to be a Tsar for life. Is it better? Is it worse? I don't know. You decide. But no, I'm not a Russia fan, but I'm a fan of Russian people and Russian things. I like Russian music. I like Russian cinematography. I like, you know, they're very deep, real people. More real than other people. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but they're really cool, really deep culture, really nice people. You think that every Russian is a communist? No. There's people suffering because of politics there. So I'm following the stuff made by real people. They have amazing creators, amazing engineers, amazing whatever, really passionate people. They like their sunflower seeds, their vodkas, and their tracksuits. I like some sunflower seeds myself, sometimes. CD Projekt Red should put your music in Cyberpunk 2077. It would fit so much more. Kevin T. Schneider. It's a German name. I like Germans. Don't get me wrong. I have Germans in my family. Yeah, but look, CD Projekt Red decided to not use any synthwave, even though the game is supposedly retro-futuristic. They didn't choose a retro-futuristic approach when it comes to the music. So you're not gonna see any synthwave stuff or my stuff or anyone's stuff. Even you will see a little bit of Perturbator, but only on like ads, but not actually in the radio stations of the cars. I consider that an insult to the synthwave scene. Chronologic names a bunch of nice Russian movies. Solaris, a nice science fiction movie in the 70s. Stalker, also kind of science fiction. With the zone and everything, and kind of the Tarkovsky director who was making everything in slow motion, kind of like the Tarkovsky, the Stanley Kubrick of Russia, but better. Mirror, Nostalgia, I haven't seen those. I'm sure they're pretty cool. Recent one I wanted to see was Spacewalk. Shows the difficulty of the scientist having to cope with the overly demanding communist regime. See, that's the thing about the flat earth conspiracy. Okay, the Americans did a lot of lies. NASA lies, we all know that. But there's some engineers in Russia who did some amazing stuff. So that's all I'm gonna say. Yuri Gagarin, big respect. The guy was like the engineers and Yuri Gagarin with that makeshift of a spacecraft. You know, managed to go way up there and then come back. There's no reason for that to be a conspiracy. There was some real stuff going on there. And the courage, man, the courage to go in that analog equipment, that's incredible. Just imagine just being up there with some big engines and analog equipment and just having a radio to connect to the ground. Take some balls. And he was just like a space, he wasn't the astronaut, he was an air jet plane fighter guy. So it was a premiere for him. It's just like pioneer. So yeah, that's really cool stuff, very inspiring. But if I'm gonna make some Soviet wave tracks, they're gonna be inspired by people like that. I mean, a lot of science in the United States was developed because of Nazi scientists. Operation Paperclip and all that, you know? What's the Russian developed game heading for 2021? Augmented human in robotic overrun setting. Is it retro influence though? Because if it is, then I think you're talking about Atomic Heart, which is a fantastic video game, if it's gonna happen. A Romanian wrote the story to that, but most of the production is Russian. So that's pretty cool. It's a very atmospheric game. I don't know about augmentations or anything like that. I've just seen the retro influence. Chronologic. Could Kubrick fake the moon landing? Probably. They killed Kubrick. Probably. I know that Eyes Wide Shut had showed some crazy stuff. Eyes Wide Shut with that pedophilia going on, exposing the orgies between the high life elites and stuff like that. Yeah, and also what you don't know about that, you've probably seen YouTube videos about Eyes Wide Shut, but what you don't know is probably that in the ritual scene there is actually an Orthodox Christian chant, but reversed. So, you know, they say the Satan likes to reverse the words of God. So if you want an example, there it is. USA and Russia had both their shares of killing astronauts in missions, failed missions, because of rushed projects. Eyes Wide Shut and They Live are two basic conspiracy theories movies. Lady K says, They Live, I think that's a documentary. You can just put it in the documentary class. That's the movie right there. Except for one thing, I think, you know, when they put the glasses on and they show the things that are brainwashy, to see the truth with the glasses on the world. I think the reproduce part is not brainwash. I think the brainwash now is to not reproduce and to kill babies. So there's that. But yeah, apart from that, the movie got everything right. Yeah, it's not pop culture, it's culture. I'm guessing Tom Cruise was in the deleted footage and knows what it's about. Yeah, maybe, yeah. All the actors who are involved in that, they probably know the full script. Iona 1, yeah, Metro Holographics is what fits with Cyberpunk 2077 perfection. At this point, I don't even want my music to be associated with Cyberpunk 2077. It's a bit mainstream project, doesn't resonate really with me, but I play it and I think it's entertaining, but nah, it's too safe. Everything is too safe now. Afraid to make any statements. And not only that, but pushed towards making ideologies to manipulate the people who are playing that are not good for them. But yeah, my track, for example, Night City, like I said, Night City is based on Neuromancer. I don't put that Night City track because of Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk ripped off Neuromancer, which is a book in the 80s. I have a nice collaboration with the Institute 91, who is in the chat room. You should check it out. It's called Dreadworm. It's an action-pumped track and very cinematic. Posted on the 80s Guy YouTube channel. If you wanna check it out, you can go and do that. Also on the Institute 91's Bandcamp and on my Spotify, Vosto Spotify, which you can find in the description of this video. Clearly CD Projekt Red sold out. Yeah, it's not even a Polish project anymore. I've heard they outsourced a lot of stuff to other countries to be produced in other countries like United States and India and whatever. You know, I in 2012 when it was announced, I thought it was going to be a pure Polish project. The soon when I saw Keanu Reeves, it was involved. I knew it was not going to be that great. You know, when you go mainstream, you die. AlphaGo, William Gibson has turned to be an awful liberal. I'm disappointed. Yeah, me too. Like, I used to follow him on Twitter, but since he started to tweet more and more leftist stuff every day, every hour, I mean, at the end of the day, you are a writer. You are make stories. Why you gotta post this stuff all the time, you know? I can cope, I understand, okay, you are a leftist, whatever. But don't post every single day your political views if you are a art creator. But in the 80s, he was pretty cool, man. Wrote some inspiring stuff. His Twitter nowadays is not inspiring at all. It's just basically Orange Man bad, stuff like that. Exactly. Alright guys, I think I will cease my live transmission I appreciate everyone for tuning into this random live stream. I felt the need to say some things because I'm not posting much videos. It's good to see you guys are still with me, and yeah, keep up the freedom. You know, stay true to yourself, follow your passions, and yeah, just be counterculture, my friends. Anti-mainstream all the way. And God bless my friends, and yeah, just keep scavenging out there, the wastelands. That's what we have left, where we are pushed in the wastelands. We gotta live on and push the human spirit. You know what I'm saying. All right. Big shout out Michael Steven, Paradox, The Institute, Games Conspiracy, AlphaGo, Lady K, Wendy, Erber, Aona 1, Max Torrance, Holy Fisher, everyone who was the nonconformist, everyone who was here, Joey 4-Track, John Loth, everyone who was here, Chronologic, Artyom Props, and everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.